And what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan, the game, and also the rebel of the YouTube underground. And you guys know I had to do my impressions video of both the E3 conferences, Microsoft and Sony going head to head, going at it, bruh. But this is Warframe. You guys know I showed this already. It's a free-to-play open beta on Steam, which is going to be a new game on the PlayStation 4, and it's going to be free-to-play. But we're going to talk about, how Sony decimated Microsoft at E3. And I didn't want to do a video like this. I was going to do a regular impressions video, but it would have taken like 15 minutes long. I mean, it'd have been long. But since I saw so many guys trying to damage control Microsoft and the bullshit they were doing on their consoles and that they said they're going to do, and then try to say Sony wasn't shit, I mean, I had to make a video going at y'all now because you guys have lost your ever-loving mind trying to say that Microsoft was better than Sony's conference. Now, I saw people trying to ridicule the look of the PlayStation 4 because Sony showed the look of their console, and people were trying to say it looks just like the Xbox. What planet are you guys on, and what were y'all sniffing or snorting or smoking or eating, shroom or whatever? What were y'all looking at? It looks nothing like the Xbox One. The Xbox One looks like a certified VHS player. The sucker is huge. It's a big old brick, and it looks like a VHS. Now, when you look at the PlayStation 4, it looks pretty much how the PlayStation 2 looked, but smaller. So I don't understand that whole logic. You guys are really reaching. You were reaching. And then there were guys who were saying that Sony showed no multiplats. Okay, what was Killzone? Okay, what was Kingdom Hearts? What was Final Fantasy? What was The Order? And that game looks amazing, by the way. And they said that wasn't CG. That was actual gameplay, by the way. What was Infamous Second Son? What was Drive Club? What was Gran Turismo? Did I say Forza? If I did, I didn't mean Forza. Those are exclusives, dog. So what were you watching? Were you watching the same E3 conference I was watching? Because I saw those exclusives. I don't understand how you didn't. Now, let's not say Microsoft didn't do their thing. Microsoft did their thing. I went in thinking that they were still going to talk about all that media nonsense that a real gamer does not care about. We get our consoles to play video games, not watch videos and television and stuff like that. But no, Microsoft went in. They showed exclusives like they said they were going to do. And they actually showed more exclusives than PlayStation. Now, the thing is, PlayStation still could have showed more exclusives because, PlayStation has the show. They have Uncharted. They had the God of War series, which I'm pretty sure they're going to do some kind of a game that's going to be similar to God of War. And they might bring Heavenly Sword back. We don't know. They have a lot more exclusives than Xbox does, so we're not going to say that Xbox owns more exclusives. They just showed more exclusives. So Microsoft did their thing. They showed Killer Instincts, and when I saw Killer Instinct, when I saw that K1 flash on the screen, I was like, oh man, they really got that back? But then I saw the gameplay, and that was the turnoff part. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw I was going in, and when I saw K1, I was like, or KI, whatever you want to call it, I was like, yo, this looks like Super Street Fighter 4. And then I was like, well, it looks like Ultimate Street Fighter 4. It looked like Street Fighter. It didn't look or play anything like I remember Killer Instincts. Like, I never owned a Super NES or a 64, but I played Killer Instincts. I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy, though. I really didn't think it was that great of a game, to be honest with you. But I thought it was cool because of the combos. And don't get me wrong, the gameplay is fast on the original Killer Instincts, but it's only the combos, not the movement speed. But on this game, the movement speed was so fast, along with the combos, it didn't resemble Killer Instincts whatsoever. And developers have this issue with bringing back old games, but not bringing them back the way, not to their former glory. So that's an issue with me. Also, there was no blood at all in that trailer, and Killer Instincts was a bloody game, so that was a turnoff. Rise, I did catch Rise. That was a good game. Only thing that turned me off was the quick time events. I like the whole blood and gore and the whole Roman military style and tactics that they use, but the whole, quick time event thing is a turn off to me. I don't like quick time whatsoever. I like to just, attack, and it might just give me some kind of a finishing move animation, just like Arkham Asylum and City does. Something like that, instead of a quick time. I hate that. So that was a turn off. Dead Rising was a game that I do want, and I am upset that it's an Xbox exclusive. Hopefully it drops on the PC somewhere down the line so I can pick it up, but that was the one that I really wanted to get. But then we go to the Sony conference. Sony, like I said, showed all these exclusives. Final Fantasy, I never bought a Final Fantasy a day in my life, but that Final Fantasy looked amazing. Now, the game that made people say that Sony won instantly was when they showed Kingdom Hearts 3. I never played Kingdom Hearts. I thought it was a childish game, but apparently a lot of adults played it, and they said that it's not childish whatsoever. It's a real good game. It has a real good story. So I might actually try that out. Never played any of them, but a lot of people was like, that's what they wanted to see, and they showed it, and that was pretty much what really, you know, made them say this. Like, that was my impressions. Like, I was like, wow. Down goes Microsoft, bro, because that was what really killed them. But then what really killed them was when they addressed all those rumors that Microsoft didn't address. You know, like Microsoft having it so you can't buy and sell used games. You basically, when you buy the game, if someone's on your friends list for 30 days, you can let him borrow the game. But once it goes back on your system, on your profile, the game is no longer able, you can no longer let anyone borrow the game. It won't be able to work on anyone else's console, even in your house. Also, you have to have online access 24/7. If you don't hop on your Xbox with that online at least once a day, or actually once a day, it will delete all your games off, because you have to check in on your Xbox with Xbox Live online, and you can't play your games without it being online, even single player. So that is silly. And if you don't believe me, I'll put a link in the description to xbox.com where all that information is up there if you don't believe what I'm saying. Because a lot of people trying to damage control this. So y'all are tripping, man. So Sony went on stage and answered all that stuff. And that's what really blew Microsoft away, man. And I see a lot of people was up there trying to damage control, saying, nah. You know what, sir? You know what? You mad. Exactly. Cameron said it best, boy. You are mad. You mad. Like, I don't understand you guys, man. It's all cool to be, you know, to be a fanboy of a console and stuff like that, but you can't deny facts, man. And those are all facts. All those rumors that are about Xbox were not addressed. Only, I think, a few were, but all the big ones were not addressed, and they're actually on their site saying that they are confirmed to be true. And Sony went and just basically was like, look, we support buying and selling used games. Once you buy a game, it is yours. You can do whatever you want with it as a consumer. Let's go, Sony. And Microsoft can't do that. So how can you damage control that? And then the coup de grace, the last thing everybody wanted was to know the pricing. So Xbox dropped their price for, they said $499.99 for the Xbox One. Sony came out and said, look here, bro. Nah, we better than that. We're going to drop it for $400. They said $399.99, bro. I mean, for $500, you might as well do what Mercury did and buy and build a cheap PC that could play all the games but better than the Xbox One. I mean, that's pretty much what you should do. So, in the end, dog, like, Sony basically just decimated them, dog. It was a wrap. And I'm going to be honest with you. You got to be a fool to want to buy Xbox and waste your money. I mean, don't get me wrong. PlayStation, I don't understand why they decided to do this, but PlayStation now is charging for you to be online. So Sony guys can no longer boast about having free online, but it's only $5 a month. And they're letting you pay $5. You don't have to pay $60 like Xbox is basically making you do. They're like, oh, no, we're just going to make you pay $60 now. So you got to pay $60 for online, man. But with the PlayStation, you can just put $5 down for a month. You know, that's what's up. I can do that. That's nothing. You know, I got a PC, so I don't have to be on there all day. But anyway, most of the conference was multi-plats on both sides. But this is your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan game. And you can't use that for an excuse because all of them show multi-plats. But before I get out of here, I just want to say, PC still owns both of them consoles, dog. I got Steam, and it's just like Live and PSN, but it's free and better graphics. Let's go. Bye. Man.